Good morning, everybody. I want to thank AmCham for providing this opportunity, not only for you students, but for me to speak to you about exchange opportunities and studying in the United States. Let me just say a few words about myself. I am here for only 3 months at the U.S. Embassy. I am filling in for the public affairs officer who is on maternity leave in the United States. So I am very appreciative of this opportunity to be in Mongolia, and I have met a number of students here and been extremely impressed. So being able to talk with you today about exchange opportunities in the United States is a great privilege. It's also as you know, I hope, the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Mongolia. So this is an opportunity to think about how far we've come in 30 years. And certainly Mongolians studying in the United States as well as Americans studying in Mongolia, the numbers have increased immensely. And 30 years ago, probably there were no Mongolian students in the U.S. I think the first one went in 1988 to Denver. 25 years ago, there were 12 Mongolian students studying in the United States. And does anybody know how many are there now? I'll give you 3 guesses. Who thinks 500 Mongolians are now studying in the U.S.? Any hands? How about 1,000? How about 1,500? That's the correct number. 1,500 Mongolian students now studying in the U.S. versus 25 years ago. So we've come a long way. Now, I'm going to go through a bunch of slides about various opportunities, but I also have some handouts here that I'll put over on one of the tables during the break. And I also brought you all 30th anniversary stickers that you can pick up as we celebrate this year. Right? Thank you. First, I want to talk a little bit about the steps to studying in the United States, and then I'll be talking a little bit about scholarships. So these are fairly obvious, simple steps. Research your options. Where do you want to go study? That means what kind of climate, what kind of school, a private university, a large state university. How will you finance your studies? The application form, applying for your visa, and preparing for your departure. Oops, have not mastered this yet. So these are how you do this, and I'm going to get to a point where I explain about our Education USA office, which can help you with all this. You don't have to do all this on your own. There are people who can give you advice. So you have to learn about U.S. institutions. Again, there's information at the American Center and at the Education USA Advising Center on all this. How you're going to pay for it, scholarships, application timeline, your personal essay, apply for your student visa. I know that's a big question in a lot of people's minds, and actually we sometimes have our visa officers go over to the Advising Center and talk about this and explain it, so it's not so mysterious. And then prepare for your departure, because the more you know about where you're going, the better you'll do. And your future starts with a visit to Education USA. We have a center at the American Center at the Public Library, the Ulaanbaatar Public Library. And this center does not charge, distributes accurate and comprehensive information about U.S. schools. It's part of a global network all over the world that is funded by the U.S. Department of State to help students get accurate information about studying in the U.S. so that you don't go to a broker, you don't pay a fee to somebody to give you advice. That's the location, and that's some of the ways to contact. And now for some of the specific scholarship and exchange opportunities that are available to students. The Fulbright program is the U.S. government's flagship exchange program. Over the years, it's developed many additional aspects. but it was started in 1946, gives approximately 8,000 grants annually. So most people in the United States and many people around the world know the word Fulbright. Oh, you had a Fulbright. You had a Fulbright award. You had a Fulbright scholarship. It's very prestigious. This one is for master degree studies and explains some of the requirements. So under funding from the U.S. government, we send 4 to 5 students each year, Mongolian students each year, to the U.S. on the Fulbright Student Fellowship for master degree study. The government of Mongolia also provides funding for this program, and the Mongolian funding sends another 9 to 10 students each year. So we're very grateful to the government of Mongolia for contributing to the Fulbright program and making it possible to actually triple the number of Mongolian students who go to the U.S. on master's study. This is an undergraduate program, a non-degree exchange program, second or third year college students. How many of you are second or third degree college students? Good. So this is announced in December and January. If you follow us on Facebook or watch our website, you'll see the announcement. And you can go to the U.S. for 1 semester or 1 academic year on this program. Study of the U.S. institutes. We have several kinds. This one is particularly for women in leadership. It's a 5 to 6 week academic program. You generally spend most of the time on the campus, but you also do some travel in an academic study. We have another one for scholars, but I didn't include that today. When you're older, maybe you might be interested in that one, and they're on many different topics. In addition, here are some things you can take advantage of. AmericanEnglish.state.gov about American English language and culture, and then MOOCs, online courses, some of which we're doing one now, I think, on journalism at the American Center for Journalists, so some of these also have extra support at the American Center. I included this last program, even though it's for high school students, and I think none of you is high school, correct? Everybody is a college student, university student, but maybe you have younger brothers or sisters who might be interested in this. And it just started this year. This will be the first year of this high school exchange program. Mongolian students will spend an entire year studying in a U.S. high school on this program. We just introduced it this spring. The first 10 students are being selected now for the coming academic year, and then in the summer there will be an announcement for the program for the following year. So that's our website, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We're not yet on Instagram, we're discussing it. Let me take a vote. Who thinks the U.S. Embassy should have an Instagram account? Would it be useful? Raise your hand if you think so. Okay, I'll tell my colleagues. So thank you very much. I'd be happy to take any questions, and I'll be leaving the handouts and the stickers over on one of the tables. Thank you.
За тэгээд Монголоор асуух хэрэгтэй бол монголоор асууж орчуулад өгж болно. If you have any questions for Ms. Camp regarding how you can study in the United States and what are the other opportunities, she'll take several questions. So, I see a hand there.
First of all, thank you. And my question is how do you see the purpose of those exchange program? So we know it's not only between Mongolia and US, it's basically all around the world. So in your own opinion, what's the purpose or goal of countries to share its educational resource between each other? So how do you see the exchange program? Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, the purpose of exchange programs. Well, we often quote Senator Fulbright when he established the Fulbright program in 1946. I don't have the entire quote in front of me, but the basic idea is mutual understanding. The idea is that through these exchange programs, we learn about each other in ways that help us to work together on any kind of programs, whether it's scientific cooperation, diplomatic, cultural, arts programs, military programs. With mutual understanding, we are much closer to being able to work together to understand each other, understand not only each other's cultures, but the way we think and the reasons that different countries approach problems in different ways. So the short answer is mutual understanding. Thank you. It's very important to us.
Any other questions? There's one more. Actually, two more.
Thank you. My question is, personally, I would like to study in British. So my question is there any way to get through the study in America and next step on in British, like to how's the relationship with the British scholarships? I mean,
you want to study in the U.S. on a British scholarship?
I mean, personally, I would like to study in British, but if I had to go America, so is there any way to, after studying America, to get Britain?
Certainly, yeah. Many people study in one country and then study another degree, or perhaps 2 master's degrees in another country. There's no problem with that at all.
Yeah, to make it clear, it's a kind of waste of time if I had to get bachelor in America to get Britain. So is there any faster way to get to the America and then next go to the Britain,
I'm not sure I understand entirely what you want to do, but actually, let's say you went to an American university, undergraduate.
Yeah.
American universities have exchange programs with other countries. So you could be a Mongolian student enrolled at a U.S. university, and you could go on a U.S. university exchange program to Britain.
To Britain, yeah.
That is possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the question.
Any other questions?
I have a question. So thanks for coming today. Well, first of all, basically I have 2 questions. And then, what is the huge impact of, the Donald Trump is running for the president next 4 years. And what is the huge impact for the scholars who can study for the United States? What's the big impact, and what's the big barrier of his impact? Like he has a little bit strict policies to running for a president. So where's the huge impact on the exchange student?
Thank you. In terms of Mongolia, there is bipartisan support for our relationship with Mongolia and everything we do here. So in terms of, Mongolians going to the U.S. or our foreign policy, foreign relations with Mongolia, I don't see any change. The one thing I would be concerned about is we're hearing about very big budget cuts. We don't know, those still have to go through Congress. The president proposes the budget, but it is Congress that approves it. So we don't know about what the budget cuts might be. Some of them might cut some of the scholarship programs. So there might possibly be less money for scholarships and exchange programs. That would not affect students going on their own to the United States who are paying their own way or getting a scholarship from the university. That would only affect if there are cuts, perhaps in the Fulbright program. In fact, Congress has said the Fulbright program should not be cut. But there are many other programs, so we don't know. There's always an uncertainty with money. But for the rest of it, in terms of policy, I don't see any major changes.
Okay, that would be the last question, I guess.
So, what's the main difference between Mongolian and American students, and if you have already observed, and in your opinion, what's the strongest part of Mongolian students in academic area?
Well, I probably don't have enough experience to speak to that, but I will say I have been incredibly impressed by the Mongolian students I have met, particularly by the confidence that I see. So we had a group of high school students under a program that the embassy introduced last year. This preceded the new Flex program. It was called MUSE, Mongolia U.S. Exchange, and they were high school students. They went for 2 months, and I didn't meet them before they went, but I have met them since. And for high school students, they are so poised and eager and doing community service projects that I'm in awe of these high school students. Now, they were a select group. We also have what we call Access program, which is English teaching for people from maybe disadvantaged backgrounds, and I've met some of them as well at the American Center, and fabulous students. So I wouldn't say much different from U.S. students. You're doing great. I know that there's a lot of talk about reform in Mongolian education. We have the same conversations in the United States. We're stronger in some areas, maybe weaker in others. So I've been very impressed with Mongolian students. Congratulations to all of you. Obviously, you were selected for this program, and that's terrific. I hope it's useful to you, and I hope that many of you have the opportunity to study in the U.S. or go on future exchanges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Camp.